You know when you read a book and you're like, now this is literature. Hey, we're werewolves and we exist and you should be afraid of us, to be honest. You better pick this up. This book is gonna wreck me. This is gonna wreck me. Such a snooze fest. Like, why did you write the chapter about that? Or I'm gonna never listen to audiobooks ever again. I'm absolutely bamboozled. Why is no one reading this? Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Noelle. The 7 is my Enneagram type, and we are back to vlogging, baby. As we speak, I have like three vlogs currently in the works, and it's taking everything in my brain. I feel like the guy with like the red string, just like stressed, but we're doing it. It's happening. So this vlog in particular, I am so behind on NetGalley like everyone else, and I almost caught up. In like January, I was almost there, and then I had a good old tipsy fun evening and went onto NetGalley and just went on a requesting spree, and most of them were approved because I had such a high like feedback ratio at the time, for better or for worse. And now, before I get to all of those new titles, I'm trying to clear out the last couple of my lingering titles from like last year. Now I have quite a backlog. So we will probably be doing NetGalley vlogs for a little while. So we are going to attempt 4 arcs from NetGalley in this vlog, all of which have been published already. So it's really just a miscellaneous reading vlog, but for me, it's catching up on NetGalley. We are probably starting with No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull, which, I don't know, I'm a little bit nervous because I read another of his books, The Lesson, last year or maybe the year before, and I thought it was just okay. Very intellectual, did not hold the reader's hand at all, which I appreciate, but also a lot went over my head. And I'm not too proud to admit and acknowledge that. No Gods, No Monsters, I think, is the start of a series and is an urban paranormal fantasy. There is this traumatic shooting of a character's brother. And it's written off initially as like another tragic instance of police brutality. But then shortly after the shooting, these various monsters and werewolves expose themselves to the human population as monsters and werewolves to kind of say like, hey, surprise humans, monsters are real, werewolves are real, we're not hiding anymore. And that's all I really know. The next one is a Greek mythology retelling, and we know how I feel about Greek mythology retellings on this channel, is Daughters of Sparta by Claire Haywood, which is a Greek retelling that I have heard literally nothing about, not a whisper, not a breath about this one, and I feel like everyone on book internet is a big fan of Greek myth retellings like I am. But this one has kind of snuck under the radar. So either it's a hidden gem or it's garbage. And we're gonna find out which one it is. This one in particular I'm excited for because it brings back the women of Greek myths like into the forefront, particularly Daughters of Sparta, referring to Helen of Troy and her sister, who is a much more difficult name, Clytemnestra. Clytemnestra? I don't know. Helen and Kay, maybe. And then the third one is Why She Wrote, which is a really fun cover. I am strongly considering purchasing this because I like to have a kind of collection of these anthology historical fun books about women, especially knowing that this is a graphic nonfiction. I'm like, I kind of want it. If I haul it in this video, don't be surprised. Okay, I'll just say that. But Why She Wrote is a graphic novel, graphic nonfiction, highlighting like 18 different women writers and focusing on why in their various time periods they made the radical decision to dedicate their life or commit to a craft of writing, when very often that was not a cool or outrageous or accepted thing to do as women. Which these are kinds of books that I just always gravitate towards. I love to learn little snippets of women's history, and these various like bite-sized biographicals just really draws me in. So I'm excited to get to this and check this off the list for sure. I think it will be a light and easy and fun one. And lastly, we are going with a nonfiction / memoir, I think, called Girlhood by Melissa Febos. But this focuses on stories and instances that like shape girls as they grow up, and the collective experiences that we all have and go through and marinate on and think about in becoming women or transitioning into or out of girlhood and womanhood. Hopefully this will be a good fun vlog, but I am slowly getting my chops back, my vlogging habit back. So be patient with me, but we're getting there. I'm excited to be vlogging again. Okay, enjoy. Currently drying my hair. Have yet to do any makeup because I'm gonna film later, but also I still have all of these piles of books are still here from when I destroyed my shelves to film that book haul a couple weeks ago. So I think I'm gonna put everything back where it goes and not worry about doing like a bookshelf reorganization like I keep telling myself I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is pop in the No Gods, No Monsters audiobook, partly because it's due back to the library in 5 days. Partly because the other audiobook that I'm listening to right now for a different thing is really pissing me off, and I need something else to listen to, or I'm gonna never listen to audiobooks ever again. So that's the plan. I finished No Gods, No Monsters, and it feels really good to check it off the list because that's an arc that has been sitting around unread in my NetGalley shelf for over a year. But I didn't like it. I think I just am too dumb for the lesson, and No Gods, No Monsters might be the same case because the first 50%, like, you had me. You had me. 5 stars. I was like, this is a masterpiece. He just like carefully setting up all these chess pieces, and somehow we like really took a nosedive after the 50% mark. And I just was confused and lost and wondering, like, where did the point go? What happened to the original plot of the movie?
What happened to the original plot of the movie?
Like, what went wrong? I know it's a series, so we may have done like a little setup and then a pause for like the first book to kind of implode, and then the second book might pick up on some more of the grander details that were happening. So I would still be intrigued and interested in reading as the series progresses. This is a very disappointed 3-star for me. And it would be a 2, except that I loved the first half so much. So I can't give it less than a 3 now, but man, I am sad about it. To give you a better idea of what goes on is there are these monsters that have been living amongst humans like the whole time, and this one horrific traumatic thing happens to one of the character's brothers at the very beginning of the book, and it causes this werewolf pack to like come out of hiding and like show themselves like, hey, we're werewolves and we exist and you should be afraid of us, to be honest. And that causes this whole snowball chain of things to happen with other monsters, either, yes, also showing themselves, or staying underground, and kind of there's like this infighting of like, oh, we shouldn't be public, we should be public, we should have control, blah, blah, blah. Then there comes this whole other, not subplot, but this other tension going on with the humans, where it becomes like in the media, the original video clips get altered so that you can't actually see that they were werewolves in like the original news clips. So then people are like misremembering or arguing that, oh no, like werewolves aren't real. There's this whole other conversation happening about information and media and groupthink and echo chambers. And that was fascinating, explored in this like paranormal-ish urban fantasy mystery story. I thought it was a really fun playground for those kinds of conversations. But the book itself really fell apart for me, unfortunately, and that's a big old bummer, but alas. So during my reading of Gods and Monsters, I reorganized my bookshelves, and I also played a bunch of Stardew Valley, and I am sufficiently sunk back into Stardew Valley. So I might see if I can find Daughters of Sparta on audiobook so that I can play more Stardew and continue my binge of ARCs and Stardew Valley, because those two things combined is like my love language, actually. If not, I mean, I have plenty of other audiobooks that I could read, but I really want to read Daughters of Sparta. I'm really in the mood for more audiobooks, but today, regardless, I would like to knock out Why She Wrote, because I think that'll be a quick one. I haven't read a graphic novel or nonfiction in a while, actually, which is really odd for me. So I would like to just cozy up. I basically have more time off right now than I have since like the quarantine. So I have lots of time, more time than I usually ever do to read, and I'm gonna try and knock out a bunch of like books and vlogs and projects, and I'm really looking forward to that. Today, I may try and throw in some sneaky clips of a little girls outing with a couple of my good friends. We're all three having big life transitions right now. So we're having a little girl boss lunch and beach time and catch up sesh. So that'll be fun. That will be fun to see my friends and have a little bit of self-care gals time. And then after that, we will pick up and continue the ARC journey. So far, I'm feeling good, even though I didn't like it, but it still feels good to like check it off the list, you know? Height to actually talk to you, but this is actually my first day off now that I went down from full-time to part-time at the winery, and it feels like such a treat. It's like so nice to have like some extra time to like get my life together. So kind of taking it slow, nice slow chill morning. I'm gonna do some filming for a different thing, so if you recognize this shirt and this hair, now you know. And then I'm just gonna like vacuum, clean my house, throw in some laundry, and settle down. Unfrickin' read. I want to finish Why She Wrote today. I think if I just sit down for like an hour, I can just bust it out. And I might play some more Stardew. I really have the Stardew itch. So that's the plan for my chill little Wednesday. Okay, bye. Hi, it's Sunday night, and I would really like to post this video tomorrow, but I still have 1 1/4 entire books to read. So we are in crunch time, my friends. Here's the update. I finished Why She Wrote during Bookopoly-thon, like a day or 2 after I told you I was absolutely 100% finishing it, but that's how it goes on this channel. I finished it like an hour into Vish's sprints for Becca's Bookopoly-thon that happened this past weekend, and it was an absolute blast. So much fun. Did I vlog at all during Bookopoly-thon? Nope. Like I said, we are getting back into the practice, slowly but surely. I saw my favorite band, Bastille, last night, live, for the first time in my life. Saw my favorite band perform live yesterday. I cried, and it was the best. It was the best. And we went straight to the concert after we both got off work. So yesterday I read nothing. But that's okay. It was, oh my god, it was worth it. It was like one of the best concerts. It was so good. It was so good. I have merch somewhere. The concert was so good, and I can't believe that I witnessed the genius of Dan Smith in the flesh. I'm like still processing 24 hours later, but that brings us to the present moment, and I just got home from work, immediately put on comfy clothes and put my hair up. It was one of those days. And Wes is out of town tonight and tomorrow, which means it's just little old me and the doggy click-clacking around to finish this little ARC marathon that we are in the middle of. And I have to tell you my thoughts of Why She Wrote. I don't have a lot of thoughts about Why She Wrote, unfortunately. I am settling on a 3-star. Because a 2-star feels a little harsh. Like, I don't think there was anything wrong with the book. I just found it pretty boring, to be honest. And I've read a lot of books that do similar things, like mini biographicals and spotlights on different authors and different women writers, and a lot of graphic nonfiction. Like, I've read a lot of things in this diaspora or whatever. I wasn't super impressed with Why She Wrote. I learned some stuff. It was interesting how so many of these women writers were inspired by one another or interacted with each other. Like, the interconnected nature of this book and the women that it highlighted was for sure the most interesting and unique part of it. The graphics, like the art that sorry if the light is changing. We have like a nature slideshow on the TV right now, and it's making me different colors. I just noticed. Whatever. The graphic chapters, like for each different woman, felt really random. It didn't feel like it was a really profound, necessarily, moment in each of these women's lives. It felt very like cherry-picked. Like the chapters were just like Jane Austen on what she might have done on like a Tuesday. It didn't feel like it was a big moment in each of these women's lives. Some of them were, but there was like 20 or something, like 18 different women. And so many of the stories was like such a snooze fest. Like, why did you write the chapter about that? Why would you choose to highlight this author and then not highlight anything interesting about her? I was really confused on the actual events that they chose to depict in like the graphic form. The way it was organized was cool because it grouped the women up based on their inspiration and the reason that they wrote. Hence the title of the book, Why She Wrote. Because some of them was for, you know, expression, and some of them was for like financial security and all things in between. So it had a handful of writers that fit into each reason. I liked that. Again, I liked how so many of the women were connected or had met or interacted, and I didn't know that before. I don't know, I was pretty underwhelmed overall, which is a bummer, but I'm glad I didn't buy it. Like I was this close, and then I got about like a third into it and was like, I don't know, like this might not actually be my favorite. So I'm glad I didn't buy it. On to the next. So after I finished Why She Wrote, I immediately picked up my Kindle and started reading Daughters of Sparta. And already I knew within like the first 10% that this would be a banger. So this is now 2 days ago, Friday night. I started reading Daughters of Sparta. But Goblathon, we sprinted for 4 hours and ended at midnight my time. And I had to be at work at 9 a.m. the next day, but I stayed up until 4 a.m. still reading Daughters of Sparta. So that's how much it has gripped me. As we speak now in this moment, I'm at like 65% through, and I will 100,000% finish tonight. I think I'm gonna play like a little bit of Stardew Valley, because it still just has me by a chokehold right now. And then after that, then we will sit down and tackle Daughters of Sparta. I am so thoroughly loving it so far, and I can't even really put my finger on like what it is, because it's not like a ton has happened. It's not exactly the most action-packed Greek historical myth story you've ever read in your life, but I think that's why I like it so much. It's giving me Cersei vibes, where you really get this story from the women's point of view. The two sisters, which was so funny because Clytemnestra, the first chapter, they make a joke about how difficult that name is to say and how all of the characters mostly just call her Nestra. So Helen and Nestra, as they grow up, they get married, they have families, things escalate and things happen, and now it's about to get really juicy. We just had a bomb dropped on the plot last night as I was reading while having a glass of wine and waiting for Wes to meet me at the restaurant to then go to the concert. So I probably read like 2 chapters yesterday, was all the reading I got done actually. I'm very excited, and if you like Greek stories and lore surrounding like the Trojan War and all of this kind of stuff, like I know I haven't finished it yet, but I would recommend already. I would recommend, like I'm just really enjoying how it's written and how the 2 main women are depicted and written and as being like their own people and having their own thoughts and emotions and motivations. Like I am so thoroughly having a good time, and I will play some video games and then be back. Okay, bye. This is gonna wreck me. If I cry, I'll let you know. It's really possible. Okay, bye.
15 minutes later.
Wow. Wow. It's midnight and I'm 2 glasses of wine deep and I've just finished this book. It's a little too fresh. We will talk in the morning when I am sober and less emotional. Wow. Wow.
1 hour later.
Hi. Excuse me while I just pull up a coffee table here. It's now 1 a.m. I don't really have much more to say, except that I'm still in a complete spiral. And I did an Instagram search, like the tag Daughters of Sparta, to try and find other reviews to satiate my tailspin right now. There's nothing. There's nothing. I'm absolutely bamboozled. Why is no one reading this? Like, take it from someone who did not like Song of Achilles, very thoroughly enjoyed Circe, and overall is a big ol' fan of Greek stories and mythology retellings. This is a really good one. If you liked Song of Achilles, read it. And if you didn't, also read it. And then come into my DMs.
Please.
Maybe I just haven't read a good book in a while. 'Cause, you know when you read a book and you're like, now this is literature.
This is a 5-star read.
I really thought I was gonna have the capacity left to start girlhood. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I only have 2 brain cells and they are named Helen and Nestra. Good night. Yep. I'm still upset in a good way. And then after we talked, I went and had a meltdown on Instagram stories and then I just like didn't say what the book was. And I like went to bed. And I just woke up to a bunch of my friends being like,
oh my god, what book are you talking about?
so, that's fun. Good times. People are sleeping on this book. We're gonna talk, but first I'm gonna make coffee and clean up my kitchen a little bit before Wes gets home from his trip. And then we will sit down and chit chat. And I think I might just save girlhood for next time, is where I'm at right now. We'll see how I feel in like 20 minutes. Okay, talk in a sec. Fun fact about me is that I love brown sugar. And I have a new addiction to the Trader Joe's oat milk brown sugar creamer. And also, forever, I've had a jar of brown sugar next to my like coffee maker on my counter because I love brown sugar so much. And now I do both because I'm a grown-up and no one can stop me. I don't even know what it is. I literally remember being like a child, like 8 years old, and like scooping mouthfuls of brown sugar when like my mom was making cookies and her being like, why are you can't just eat sugar. And I'd be like, wait till I'm a grown-up, Mom. Here we are. Cheers. Oh, this is like an extra good cup of coffee. I don't know what I did differently. Maybe it's the mug. I don't use this mug as often. This is my NaNoWriMo mug from this past year. I'm gonna go eat my breakfast and drink this blissful cup of coffee and probably play a round or 2 of Hearthstone, and then we will discuss. I will be back. I lost. It was really just a warm up, you know? This game, Wes got me into this game when we like first started dating, and I used to think it was like so dumb, and then he was like, no, you'd like it, like you should learn it. And he was right, because now like I play it more than he does. So, okay, let us discuss. Hi, Sunday. I feel like all I've done is just like sigh about this book without actually saying much. Why is no one reading this book? Why is no one talking about this book? Like, if you are a Greek mythology, Greek lore, history kind of girly, you better pick this up. I don't even know where I'm going with that sentence. The point is, you better pick this up, period. The coolest thing about it, two cool things. First cool thing was that it's driven by the sisters, Helen and Nestra, and we get their story about, you know, growing up and feeling like they don't have a voice that matters, and feeling like all of their choices and the trajectory of their lives is completely dictated for them, but still getting to be in their heads as they are navigating all of those things, and split off so drastically from each other, and the desires and thoughts and feelings that each has are so different, yet they live such similar lives and shoulder similar expectations. And it's just such a cool mirror to see both of them, the way that they handle so differently the same set of expectations in their culture and their lives. Number two, this is the Greek retelling history story of the siege of Troy, but there's not any like a godly interference. There's almost no actual like magical mythology elements whatsoever. And like frequently they talk about the gods and offering sacrifices and praying to the various gods in the Greek pantheon, but it's not like Zeus strikes down his lightning or anything like that. It's a very grounded, it reads like historical fiction and not like mythology or fantasy at all. The last 30% was an absolute fucking roller coaster. Yeah, this book needs more readers. I'm very, very happy that I actually finally read this book, and I'm so upset that I didn't read it a year ago. When did this actually come out? It was originally published in June of 2021, like an entire year ago. I'm trying to remember what this reminds me of that's not like a Greek mythology. Because like flipping it on its head and having it be from the women's perspective is like a very specific thing that I read recently. Not ringing any recent bells. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. The Book of Longings, which is historical fiction from the point of view of the fictional wife of Jesus, and tells a lot of the biblical myths and historic points in that time through the eyes of Anna, who is this big dreamer, thinker, intelligent woman that Jesus marries, and explores like why women don't have voices, why their opinions were never heard, like the lack of women in the Bible and all of those things, like a lot of like religious themes unpacked in the Book of Longings. And that was also a very surprisingly good read for me. Like that's a really special book for me now. That was like a really, really great 5-star read, and that is exactly the one I was thinking of. That is giving me big Daughters of Sparta vibes, because it's from the perspective of these two women that we otherwise don't ever hear from themselves. They're always like spoken for, spoken over, glossed over. We never get to hear about them and the way that things affect them. I loved it, and I could probably keep rambling, but I think I said my piece, and you should read it. And also the Book of Longings. What a good time. I feel so productive. I can't wait to go submit these books as read on NetGalley to watch my my percentage increase slightly. But like I said, we will be doing NetGalley vlogs probably rather regularly now, because your girl got herself into a pickle and needs to dig herself out of that hole. And I am gonna push off girlhood until the next NetGalley vlog probably, so that I can get my little editing glasses on and get this off to you people. So we read in this vlog No Gods, No Monsters, Why She Wrote, and Daughters of Sparta. I think it's very obvious which one was the highlight. And No Gods, No Monsters and Why She Wrote were both very like lukewarm, whatever kind of reads, especially side by side now that I've finished Daughters of Sparta, because that was like a journey, and I am so happy that I got that jolt of what it feels like to just read a really good book that hooks you like that. So this was productive. I am so excited to be back vlogging again. I can't believe I let so much time go by, but again, better late than never. And we're slowly getting back into it. There were so many times over the last week where I realized after the fact, oh my God, I should have vlogged that. Like, you know, Bookoplathon, or my concert, or getting lunch with my friends. All of these little things that would make cutesy little vlog clips I'm working on. It's like a muscle. It's like a habit, and we're building it up. Thank you so much for watching this vlog, listening to me talk about books that have been published for a while, but I just now got around to reading the advanced arcs that I got. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave an emoji, let's do the sword emoji in honor of this really cool wartime book that I read this week. And also don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you would like to continue to hang out with me. I will be here every Monday-ish and sometimes Thursday-ish, and also every day over on Instagram at Noelle7pages if you would like to continue to come be buddies over there. Welcome, welcome. It's a good old time. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I hope you are well, and I will see you very soon. Love you, bye.